Let's get into it with the two-time Super Bowl champ, Bryant McFadden. Ryan Wilson joining us as well, guys. This has been the season for the Steelers. Moments of what's going on here, followed by W's. 5-3 on the season. We'll get to the broader picture here, but this 60 minutes of football told you what about this Steelers team, B-Mac?
This is a team that, they know how to make adjustments, especially coming out of half. We saw some changes on the defensive side. We saw more efficiency on the offensive side with Kenny Pickett. And most importantly, Ryan, Joe, they ran the football extremely well. I think this probably was the best running effort we've seen from their offense throughout the entire season when you factor in Najee Harris doing some pretty good things. And, of course, the microwave and what I like to call Jalen Warren, because he heats up quick. He was able to kind of be the closer for their running element in the second half. So that's a big-time plus. And the thing about this team, when you talk about being in a close ball game with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they find a way to win ball games. You talk about being involved in one-possession games. Mike Tomlin and his staff have found a way to get the most out of his ball club in winning ball games. And it's ugly. It might not be the prettiest way to watch a team win ball games, but they're 2 games above 500. In primetime games, they find ways to win. In one-possession games, they find ways to win as well.
You're seeing it right there. 8 straight one-possession games going the way of the Steelers. The coaching is obviously Hall of Fame caliber. The running game on this night was what you want to see, a $168, which I believe is a season high for this rushing attack. I will push back on the Kenny Pickett belief here for a moment, and that's where I want to take our Ryan Wilson, because Pickett was good enough in this game. 19 of 30, a $160, and the touchdown. What did you make of Pickett's night? I mean, slow to start in the first half, did what was asked of him in the second. This is a team that is in the playoff picture squarely with this win. Can you continue to move forward with Kenny Pickett?
Joe, I need to take a step back. I need to apologize for going after you before we started this segment. I've been doing some breathing exercises because I am frustrated watching this team, B-Mac. And I give you a ton of credit for your positivity.
That's what, it wasn't me. It was Kenny Pickett.
It was 100% Kenny Pickett. I applaud B-Mac's positivity, but Kenny Pickett is frustrating. The offense, as it's structured, is frustrating, and it starts with the offensive coordinator. Now, look, you can bring Matt Canada down to the field. You can put him in a golf cart and take laps around the field. You can put him outside the state. It does not matter. This offense hasn't changed. And B-Mac and Joe, what this tells me is that next to last drive, just before 2 minutes, and they ran the ball 3 times and lost 3 yards. That says you do not trust your quarterback, who the guy you took in the first round last year. If you trusted your quarterback, Josh Allen isn't running the ball 3 times. Will Levis isn't running the ball 3 times. You're getting after it, and that's what's so frustrating. Yes, the team is 5-3, but B-Mac and Joe, I'll ask you this. Are they the best team in that division? I know the answer to that. And if they make it to the playoffs, what are the expectations? The expectations are one and done, and if that's what you're looking for, this team is exactly where you want them to be. If you want to be more than that, they have to find ways to play with more consistency, not to have the stupid penalties in the first half, to open up the offense to accentuate what you do well. There's no excuse that the only time you throw the ball down the field is late in the second half when you're losing. That's it. Why aren't we letting the ball go deep with Deontay Johnson and George Pickens all the time? If you can do it with Treylon Burks when he's healthy, and hopefully he'll be okay, and with DeAndre Hopkins, you can do it with these 2 guys, and we haven't seen it, and there's no clear explanation why, unless you do not trust Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I'm not sure it can be said any more concisely or accurately than that, but I would like to add some color and numbers to that.
Please do.
The 2 touchdown drives, 10 plays, 74-yard drive to start the game. Oh, my goodness, let's let this man live on the sideline is what it felt like. And then the touchdown drive late in the game, not their final drive, because you allude to the 3 run, give it right back up. But the touchdown drive, 11 plays, 92 yards, capped off by the Johnson touchdown. Those were 2 fantastic drives, not really aided by penalty all that much. This was Kenny Pickett orchestrating an offense, doing what was asked of him. But everything in between those 2 drives
was missing.
Was missing in a big way.
Yeah.
And we don't have to talk about who the quarterback should be, B-Mac, but are they calling the right plays for Kenny Pickett? Where are you shifting blame right now within this win if you are nitpicking the offense right now?
Tonight, I didn't have an issue with the play call, and Ryan, I would love to hear your opinion about that as well. The play calling wasn't really bothering me. I think the issue that I had was too many miscues from Kenny Pickett. Makeable throws.
The one down the middle first half, that's 6.
The one down the middle to Austin, if you throw the football and let him go get it, that's a touchdown. The reason the backer made a play on that ball because Austin had to come back for the football. The airmail pass on the curl right route to Deontay, in the first quarter.
First throw of the game, I think.
Makeable pass. The drag route to
Pickens,
George.
yeah.
You hit him in stride, he probably gains an extra 20 or 30 so yards. Those are missed opportunities that led to missed opportunities for points. You can't do that. And when you look at Will Levis, he made the easy throws. And Mike Tomlin has a saying in one of his Mike Tomlinisms: make routine plays routinely. Make routine plays routinely. If you do that, you're going to be in position to win ball games more than none. And that's what we're not seeing consistently, especially in tonight's ball game from Kenny Pickett. As a quarterback, as a linebacker, as an offensive lineman, DB, whatever the case may be, whatever your job is, the title of your job, if you make routine plays happen routinely, you're going to win more than none. That's the issue. And I think that's why Ryan is so frustrated, because it's the, wait a minute, it's the easy throws, right? You got a pocket. There's separation between the pass catcher and the defender. Just make the throws.
It's a matter of execution.
That's it.
Ryan, I believe you were prompted there on play calling, so if you want to go there next. I know you want to see some more verticality in the offense, but did you see progress from Matt Canada tonight?
No, BMAC makes an important point. This isn't all on Matt Canada. I've been saying this for a few weeks. I think the offense is stagnant, but Kenny Pickett, if he can't hit a wide-open receiver running the drag route, that's a conversation. Now, if Kenny Pickett's injured, Kenny Pickett probably shouldn't be playing if he can't make that pass. But that was the case for much of the first half. And in fact, the next-gen stats said he completed something like 55% of his first-half throws, should have completed 75%. And as BMAC notes, moving the ball down the field usually ends up in points in some form or fashion. The two drives you talked about, Joe, those are great. But it shouldn't take, again, the 32-yard pass to Deontay Johnson into the game. Open it up, man. What do you have to lose? We can see Will Levis do it. We see everyone else do it. Why not lean on that? Now, George Pickett should have gotten the other foot down. But again, throw him the football, and it's not a problem. I'm not going to go off on George Pickens because he's one of the few guys making plays down the field. And as BMAC also noted, the run game was incredibly important, and they're the difference. And you might say, well, wait a second, the defense had all those penalties. The defense gave up 16 points. The defense was balling out. They were on the field for a long time in the first 2.5 quarters, so I'm not going to put it on them either. It starts and stops with the offense. Play calling and quarterback both have to be better. I think the play calling was better, to BMAC and your point, Joe, but the quarterbacking was not great for the first 35, 40 minutes.
And to your original point, it seems like it all boils down to a lack of belief in the guy running the plays. I will point out that all of this analysis does come within the win and a fifth of the season. They are squarely in that playoff picture, and that's what makes it all the more befuddling, all the more frustrating for Steeler minds like yourselves. It's like the Jesse Pinkman gift. He can't keep getting away with this, but they keep getting away with this, and it's exactly where they are right now. It's the old you are what your record is.
Yep.
They are 5-3. Tennessee takes a step back here in terms of record, but maybe they take a step forward in what they saw out of their quarterback. No, it was not the 4-touchdown debut for Will Levis, but you said, BMAC, making a lot of the easy throws. What are you seeing in the maturation? Yes, just 8 quarters, but what are you seeing out of Levis?
I'm surprised. For me, he's exceeded the expectations that I had for Will Levis. And for anyone that's saying, oh, I knew he had this in him. No, stop lying to yourself and to all of us. You didn't know anything. You didn't know what to expect from Will Levis. From what he did last week against Atlanta and for what he did tonight against the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though they lost, he has really exceeded the expectations. I mean, he kind of looked like he wasn't really understanding what was happening in preseason play, but what he's doing right now, he actually looks better in a Tennessee Titans uniform than what he did in Kentucky uniform. And that's saying a lot because this is the highest level. So what I'm seeing right now is a guy who plays with a lot of confidence. I love that. He plays with a lot of juice, a lot of emotion. And the team feeds
guys around him,
Now, Joe, can he do this in a consistent rate? That's what we need to see.
Some of that back foot wrist flick stuff. It's impressive, but it's going to get him into some situations a la Josh Allen.
And I'll say this, Ryan, Joe, you're not going back to Ryan Tannehill when he's healthy.
No, sir.
Because it's safe to say in 2024 you're cutting ties with Ryan Tannehill anyway. So with that being said, allow Will Levis to get as much experience as possible because Ryan Tannehill probably will be playing elsewhere in 2024. So this is the guy you're sticking with regardless of what happens from from here on out. Will Levis is your guy.
Yeah, in fact, I think the Titans have cut ties with Ryan Tannehill unofficially on November 2nd, 2023, because Will Levis is the dude. And look, here's the thing. I'm with you, B-Mac. I wasn't crazy about Will Levis's tape out of Kentucky last year. He was banged up. The offensive line stunk. He didn't have playmakers. We know the routine. But here's something you can't sleep on, and I think Musso saw this before the rest of us did. Number one, he's incredibly tough. We know that. He can take a beating and get back up, and that's a big part of what he did at Kentucky, and we saw that again in the last 2 weeks. But the arm strength that you talked about, Joe, throwing flat-footed, you can't get that from a Mac Jones in the first round. You can't get that from a Bryce Young in the first round. That is innate. That's some Josh Allen level, Patrick Mahomes level playmaking, and that's what makes it easier for him to make those throws in a muddy pocket, whereas lesser-armed quarterbacks have to be able to step into it. Offensive line was in shambles for the Titans tonight. I give that group a ton of credit for battling the way they did, but Will Levis, to B-Mac's point, played with a ton of confidence. It's going to build as we get through this process. He just has to make sure that he minimizes the turnover-worthy plays, because you don't want it to be a situation where those things start to snowball and then things take a turn. We saw that last year at times in Kentucky because he was trying to do too much. He doesn't have to do everything at Tennessee. He has players around him. We know what Derrick Henry can do. Tyjae Spears had some good moments. DeAndre Hopkins is getting warmed up again. Need to get some other players involved, Westbrook Akine, Chris Moore perhaps, and then go from there. But you have to be ecstatic if you are the Tennessee Titans or a Tennessee Titans fan, knowing that you have your quarterback going forward.
Yeah, maybe taking a little issue with the play calling in the second half, specifically that drive prior to their last. It was some interesting Traylon Burks run, Derrick Henry run, backup running back run, YOLO ball up.
Say what's on your mind. You wanted to see Derrick Henry run the football.
I'm saying we needed an 18th rush to cash an all-on-the-line pick is what I'm saying, Mac. We needed one more Derrick Henry run. We also need your point of view here, big picture.
Yes,
we alluded to it off the top, and we're going to it now. Playoff picture, and it's squarely in that picture. I mean, the Steelers at 5-3. All 5 of the wins have been comebacks. They've been outgained in all 8 games this season, and they have 5 wins. They're knocking on the door about talking about the division, but we know how you guys feel about that. Mac, talk to me about this Steelers team 2 months from now. What can they be? Where will they be? How do they remain not only a part of this picture, but how do they become an actual player in it?
I'll say this. If we don't see a change in the quarterback play consistently, right? A change in just the consistent flow of the offense and just not allowing splash plays defensively, I think at best case scenario, they would be an in-the-way team. Now I'm saying if we don't see those changes, if we see those changes, I think this is a team that can get in the postseason and make things extremely interesting. Because the thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they win in an ugly fashion, and they've been doing so, as you mentioned, Joe, getting outgained in every ball game, but still finding ways to win. What would happen if they found a way to be more stout on either side of the football where they're not allowing opposing teams to outgain them? Just think about the makeup of this team, because defensively, they got 2 of the best duo of pass rushers in the game, and Watt and Highsmith. They got a defense because of that front. They're very, very opportunistic. Offensively, just having the combination of Deontay and George in the lineup has done wonders for their passing offense. Eventually, you get your starting tight end back as well, and Pat, and you just need your quarterback to come along. But if none of those things happens in regards to the changes that I mentioned, they're just an in-the-way team. But I'll say this before I hand the baton off to Ryan. The luxury that the Pittsburgh Steelers have, for some reason, the teams in their division, they play them extremely well. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the Pittsburgh Steelers when they play teams that are not in the AFC North. But when they play against some of the best in their division, they find a way to make things extremely interesting. And that says a lot, because if you can cause havoc in your division, that will put you in a prime position to be at the seat and have a seat at the table when the tournament starts, which is the playoffs.